then you start putting the pieces together and you start saying, it's not right and I'm going to speak about it. See, when I saw Taraji broken on those platforms, it was painful to watch.
All right, now Taraji P. Henson and Nia Long allegedly had some issues on the set of Empire. Empire was on last night. And according to rumors, producers almost had to shoot the scenes they were in together separately. That's how much they didn't get along on set. Now, the rumor is that it's because of Nia Long.
And I'm just supposed to smile and grin and bear it and just keep, like, enough is enough.
If you want to call that difficult, then...
All right, let's jump into this because people can't stop talking about it, and the clips tell the story. When you mention Taraji P. Henson and Nia Long together, it's never a small topic. Both women are legendary, extremely talented, and widely respected. But if you look closer at their histories, interviews, and what people in the industry say about them, a certain pattern starts to emerge. And it doesn't really shine in Nia's favor. Taraji P. Henson has always been open and honest about her feelings. She speaks up when she feels mistreated. She's shared her struggles in Hollywood and how much effort it took for her to earn recognition. So when Taraji shows frustration or her attitude changes, people notice. She doesn't create drama without a reason. There's almost always a story behind her reactions, and right now, she's had enough.
I'm only human, and it seems every time I do something and I break another glass ceiling, when it's time to renegotiate, I'm at the bottom again, like I never did what I just did, and I'm just tired. I'm tired.
Nia is definitely a legend. There's no doubt about that. But over the years, she's also gotten a reputation for being hard to work with. This isn't just something fans say. It comes from producers, directors, and even other actors who've worked with her. Whenever this topic comes up, Nia usually defends herself, saying she simply knows her value. But when the same story keeps appearing again and again, it makes you start questioning whether it's more than just a misunderstanding.
The rumor is that it's because of Nia Long and that she was extremely rude to the people in hair, makeup, and wardrobe. Now, Nia Long's people are denying that any of this actually happened, and they're saying all of this is just rumors. But there's also additional reports that she was disrespectful to the cast, crew, and production people. And according to these rumors, the hair and makeup actually lodged complaint against Nia and threatened a lawsuit as well. They said she was habitually late and that sometimes she would be about 30 minutes late to set and even be a no-show at times. And they would have to use a stand-in to rehearse so that Taraji and Terrence could actually finish rehearsing a scene.
This is why the tension between Taraji and Nia feels so intense. It's not just about two actresses clashing. It seems like Taraji has reached her limit with someone who's had issues on multiple sets. When Taraji is clearly frustrated and Nia is defending herself again, the scene speaks for itself. One woman is done, and the other is explaining herself once more. Add Monique into the mix, and it gets even messier. She's been warning for years about certain women in Hollywood who smile in your face while plotting behind the scenes. When she says that, people can't help but think of situations like this. If Taraji is upset and Nia keeps finding herself in controversy, it makes you wonder if Monique's words hit closer to reality than most admit. The big question is Taraji simply tired of dealing with someone known for being difficult, or is Hollywood stirring drama between two strong Black women? Either way, the tension is real, and Nia's reputation can't be ignored. That's why the topic of why Taraji P. Henson reportedly dislikes Nia Long is drawing so much attention. Looking at the history, it seems Taraji's frustration isn't random. Taraji is not someone who lets people walk over her. If she feels wronged, she calls it out immediately. That authenticity is why fans respect her so much. So it was noticeable when Nia publicly supported Taraji after she spoke about pay inequality. Given their history, that support seemed a bit performative. Taraji had every reason to view it with skepticism. When Nia joined Empire, things reportedly got tense quickly. Instead of quietly doing her work, insiders claim she tried to dominate the set and steal some of Taraji's spotlight. Empire was Taraji's show. She built Cookie Lion from scratch, and the audience tuned in to watch her. When someone else tries to grab that attention, it's bound to create friction. Taraji isn't one to start unnecessary drama, but repeated tensions leave a mark. Nia Long's career spans over 30 years with iconic roles, but with that legacy comes a reputation whispered about in the industry. Difficult, demanding, not always easy to work with. That kind of reputation sticks longer than any award. Part of the frustration, according to some, is that Nia never fully reached the A-list stardom she aimed for. For much of her career, she was typecast. Girlfriends, side roles, exes. She had leading parts here and there, but Hollywood never fully elevated her to a mainstream superstar, which became a sore point. Take Alfie with Jude Law. Nia thought the film would propel her to the next level, but it flopped, and the momentum faded. Word is she held on to that disappointment and turned it into resentment toward other women receiving the recognition she wanted. There are examples. When Zoe Saldana got Avatar, Nia expressed shock at not being considered. She praised Zoe, but made her disappointment clear. She's also thrown shade at others, from Halle Berry to Queen Latifah, feeling overlooked for opportunities she thought were hers. So when Taraji started landing major roles in mainstream success, Nia allegedly voiced doubts about whether she deserved it. That history explains why Taraji doesn't easily accept Nia's gestures now. It can feel insincere. You can't throw shade for years and then suddenly celebrate someone when cameras are rolling. On paper, it seemed like a win when Nia joined Empire in Season 3 as Juliana Lucius Lyons' ICX going head-to-head with Cookie. Her casting made sense, being close to Terrence Howard, but the set reportedly wasn't smooth. Insiders claim Nia acted as if she was the bigger star from the moment she arrived. Stories say she was often late, forcing producers to bring in stand-ins so Taraji and Terrence could rehearse. Imagine a guest star delaying everything. When she did show up, she allegedly made things harder for the crew, particularly hair and makeup. If she didn't like something, she made a scene until her demands were met. Reports say it got so bad that the team filed an official complaint. Many noticed a stark contrast between how Nia treated the crew and how other guest stars did. Professionals, who've worked with countless big names, rarely face complaints. But the atmosphere shifted, and small disagreements turned into clashes. That made people question whether the problem was really the crew or followed Nia wherever she went. From Nia's perspective, the story is very different. She has defended herself publicly, saying that after decades in the business, she knows what works for her look. She believes she has every right to speak up if she disagrees with hair or makeup choices. In her view, this isn't being difficult, it's being deliberate. Nia sees it as protecting her image and expecting the team to meet her vision, not the other way around. She frames it as part of the struggle of being a brown woman in Hollywood, knowing your worth and not letting others dictate how you appear. Standing firm on her style was part of that fight. If people call her stubborn or hard to please, that's on them, not her. What the crew might see as obstinacy, she calls strength and self-awareness.
So it's been a blessing and a curse because here's what I do know. Nia Long knows her light. Nia Long knows her makeup. Nia Long knows her hair. And you probably can't talk me into something else unless you show me. If you want to call that difficult, then
that's really where the divide shows. For the crew and co-stars, it came across as unnecessary drama that slowed everything down. For Nia, it was about standing her ground and refusing to compromise. Both sides are telling the same story, but the way they see it makes all the difference. Then there's Monique, who has been loud and outspoken about all of this. She's not just upset with Hollywood, she's frustrated with how some women end up playing into the same system that holds Black women back. To her, Taraji's struggles aren't only about Taraji. They're part of a recurring pattern she knows too well. Tyler Perry and big Hollywood studios underpaid and sidelined her, and now she's watching history repeat itself with Taraji. The painful part for Monique is seeing Black women turn on each other, acting petty and making life harder for those who should have support. She takes this very seriously because she doesn't give up easily. She's willing to fight studios and face powerful men trying to push her aside. But seeing another Black woman create obstacles for Taraji in such a harsh industry is what really hits hard. Monique knows the system works by scaring women, threatening to take opportunities away, and it keeps repeating if no one stops it. That's the reality. If they don't act, the system wins.
Oprah Winfrey, you watched a Black woman be thrown under the bus, and you said nothing as you spoke about equality, so you've dealt with inequality. And to watch another Black woman deal with inequality, and you keep quiet.
For Perry and Oprah, it seems like they believe they can keep getting away with it.
The other part with Oprah Winfrey is, yeah, you let me get thrown under the bus, and you said nothing. The other part is you.
For Monique, the drama with Nia isn't just gossip. It's a reminder of how Hollywood can turn sisters into rivals and use that as an excuse to keep women underpaid, undervalued, and overworked. The painful part for her is that she herself has been labeled difficult, so she could have sided with Nia, but she sees what's been happening and feels Nia deserves the criticism. On set, the tension escalated quickly, especially when Nia was late. At one point, an actor finally snapped and asked, "Why are you always on Black people's time?" That set Nia off immediately, and the set turned chaotic. Everyone scrambled to calm her down, including Taraji. In an attempt to ease things, Taraji made a joke asking, "Why are you so mad? Are you on your period?" Instead of diffusing the situation, it only made Nia angrier. She wasn't backing down, and Taraji, known for standing her ground, didn't either. This clash hit differently because Taraji has always been protective of her cast and crew. She knows what it feels like to be overlooked, having started as an extra on Malcolm X, and she makes it a point to treat everyone on set with respect. So when Nia arrived on Empire acting dismissive, Taraji wasn't going to let it slide. She made it clear who ran the set. Taraji was the lead, and Nia was a guest star. According to insiders, Nia didn't take being checked well. She allegedly refused to film scenes with Taraji, letting her ego take over instead of behaving professionally. Producers scrambled to find ways to shoot their scenes separately, trying to balance two strong personalities. This wasn't just about the crew anymore. It became a battle over who would be the center of attention. Nia came in with her own vision, but Taraji, as the creator of Cookie Lion and the heart of Empire, wasn't going to let anyone rewrite the rules. By the end of season 3, it was clear Nia wouldn't return for season 4. Even her exit was messy. Traditionally, when a guest star raps, the assistant director calls a rap, everyone claps, and the actor gets their flowers. Nia didn't get that because the AD was busy helping Terrence Howard with an allergic reaction. Allegedly, Nia complained she was going to sue because her send-off wasn't done properly, even though nothing in her contract guaranteed it. When stories surfaced about her being difficult, Nia defended herself, saying she always treated people with respect and that her confidence was misunderstood. She explained she knew her hair, makeup, and style best, and expected the team to meet her standards. While empowering in theory on a busy set, that attitude came off as diva-like. The core issue is clear. If one person calls you difficult, maybe it's personal. Two people, maybe a misunderstanding. But when crew, co-stars, and multiple productions say the same thing, it paints a pattern. Nia carried herself like she was above it all, while Taraji protected her team. That difference is why fans still side with Taraji and scrutinize Nia. Talent aside, Nia's attitude has been her biggest downfall, and the internet hasn't forgotten. Taraji earned her spot. Nia seems stuck trying to prove she deserves one. Word is, the tension on set got so bad producers nearly had to film scenes separately. The feud wasn't just personalities clashing. Insiders say Nia wanted Cookie Lion's spotlight for herself, trying to carve a bigger role even if it meant sidelining Taraji. But Empire without Cookie was never going to happen. Only one queen existed in that story, and by season 3's end, it was obvious Nia wouldn't reclaim that space. Sources claim tensions boiled over more than once, with moments where Taraji almost confronted Nia physically, and cast members had to step in. The set was reportedly filled with side-eyes, whispers, and thick energy, making filming together nearly impossible. Insiders also said Nia pushed for storyline changes to put herself front and center, which would have sidelined Taraji. Once Taraji realized this, the tension never settled. Nia has also admitted that for years she and Jada Pinkett Smith were often compared, with the industry deciding between the brown-skinned spicy girl or the light-skinned spicy girl. That constant comparison was hard enough, but with Taraji breaking out, Nia suddenly found herself out of the conversation entirely.
Why are you so mad? Are you on your period?
Here's where things start to reveal a pattern. Nia tends to speak out whenever she feels overlooked. A clear example is Avatar. She openly questioned why she wasn't even considered for Zoe Saldana's role. She tried to soften it by saying she wasn't throwing shade. But listen to how she framed it. She said there were moments she wondered, why wasn't I considered for that? She even added that Zoe is amazing. The real issue for her was not being in the running at all. Respectfully, Nia's past roles didn't really suggest she was the right fit for a high-intensity, action-packed sci-fi film. Zoe had consistently trained for physically demanding roles, while Nia was known more for dramas and rom-coms, yet she still felt entitled to that opportunity. This isn't the only time she's inserted herself into discussions about roles she didn't land. After starring in You People, she mentioned wanting to do another rom-com with Eddie Murphy. Ambition is fine, but at a certain point, it starts to feel like she's trying to force roles instead of letting them come naturally. It paints the picture of someone who expects a certain level of recognition and makes it known when it doesn't happen. That sense of entitlement gets even more complicated when you consider the people she's worked with. Nia had chemistry with Terrence Howard long before Empire, starring alongside him in the Best Man franchise and even reuniting in Life in a Year. For years, she shared that on-screen energy with him. Then Taraji came along as Cookie Lion, creating one of TV's most iconic duos with Terrence. Suddenly, the energy Nia once had with him was overshadowed by Taraji's presence. To the public, Terrence and Taraji were seen as the ultimate work couple. That has to sting for someone who used to occupy that spot. What makes it worse for Nia's reputation is that she isn't the only one calling her difficult. Director Malcolm Lee, who worked with her on The Best Man, openly admitted that Nia could be a challenge to work with.
Women that I was in constant competition with, mostly it was me and Jada. It was like, oh, do you want the brown-skinned spicy girl, or do you want
And that's not just rumors. This is a director speaking on the record, saying she made things difficult for him. Then there's Taye Diggs, who shared that during one scene she was supposed to give him a scripted slap. Instead of keeping it staged, he claimed she went full force, hitting him like she really meant it. He said it completely threw him off because it felt intentional, not part of the scene. That's not professional. It's taking things too far.
She slapped it out of me, like for real. And you get a moment where I go, woo! And I stayed in it.
It was so loud. And I thought, oh my God, I really smacked him like hard. And I'm so sorry. And I said, Tay, are you okay? And he's like, yeah, I'm good. And I was thinking,
and if this were just one or two incidents, maybe it could be chalked up to personality clashes. But Nia's track record is longer than that. There was her ongoing tension with Jada Pinkett Smith, which never really cooled off. More recently, Sherri Shepherd shared her own encounter with Nia. According to Sherri, Nia physically grabbed her, spun her around, and accused her of shading her. Sherri had no idea what Nia was talking about, but Nia insisted, saying, "Yes, you have," before walking away. That's not a misunderstanding. That's someone actively creating drama.
My arms and they forcefully turn me around. And she says to me, she goes, "You've been shading me a lot." And I said to her, I said, no, I haven't, because I was really confused. And then she goes, "Yes, you have."
At this stage, when directors, co-stars, and fellow actresses all say the same things about someone, it starts to look less like bad luck and more like a pattern. What's even more striking is that Nia hasn't spoken up to clear her name or respond to the rumors. No interviews, no statements, nothing. The longer she stays silent, the more people start believing that maybe these stories hold some truth. So now the question becomes, is Nia really misunderstood? Or is this just who she is? From Hollywood's perspective, the list of complaints about her behavior only keeps growing. Public opinion adds even more fuel to the fire. It's not just insiders or co-stars calling her out. Fans, extras, and random encounters with people who cross paths with her have all shared stories describing her as rude or dismissive. Some claim a cousin who worked behind the scenes said she was a nightmare to deal with. Others recount seeing her act cold at a coffee shop, joking that the backlash might just be karma. Social media threads encouraging users to search Nia Long rude only highlight the dozens of negative encounters. While everyone can have a bad day, when so many people share similar experiences, it's hard to ignore a clear pattern. Insiders also say Nia blamed Taraji P. Henson for the hit her career took after the Empire drama. In her view, Taraji had the platform and the respect to step in and clear the air, but she stayed silent. That silence spoke volumes. Meanwhile, Taraji's image only grew stronger. Fans and industry professionals saw her as loyal, professional, and easy to work with. Directors praised her work ethic, and co-stars raved about her down-to-earth attitude. Every messy headline about Nia seemed to highlight Taraji's reliability and contrast. So, what do you think? Comment below and let me know. If you enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button and tap the bell icon so you're the first to see my next upload. I post updates every week, uncovering the secrets of your favorite celebrities.